Do you have a precocious child that is always getting on your nerves? You are not alone. Many parents do. That precocious child that is always overdoing things and that is always getting you worked up may actually be expressing potential for greatness. Hello, welcome. Do you have a precocious child that is always getting on your nerves? You are not alone. Many parents do. But the thing I want you to realize is that that precocious child that is always overdoing things and that is always getting you worked up may actually be expressing potential for greatness. The beautiful thing about precocious children who are always overdoing things, however, is that they are preparing for a life of greatness in the future. So if you have a child that is always doing so much of one thing that it begins to become a bother, it begins to get you worked up, it begins to get you to just become worried and exasperated at home, pay attention to that child. That area of excessive focus in the life of that child may be the area where that child will excel in the future. Interestingly, this is the particular area in which many of these children get into trouble. And because they get into trouble, particularly in their early days, we will, if care is not taken, shut down that potential. I don't know if you've had instances of children pouring everything out in the house and messing up the whole house and they cannot put it back together. If you have a crate of egg kept somewhere and before you know it, the child has broken the entire crate of egg that you plan to use for a whole week and it's all gone. Some of them that have mechanical aptitude, you just come home one day and the radio set is all uncoupled and they do not know how to couple it back, or sometimes it's broken down and then you are wondering, why are you so destructive? Meanwhile, the child is not essentially destructive. He's just trying to figure out something, and in the process of trying to figure it out, he messed it all up. So we tend to think of this as being destructive or being delinquent in the early childhood of our children. Meanwhile, what they are just trying to do is to express something within them that they don't yet fully understand. So be careful before you call a young child who is trying to find his or her bearing, before you call that child destructive. Just check, can it be the hidden talent that is trying to come out but does not know the right vent? If you find the right if you find what it is that is trying to come out of this child, you might be able to channel the energies, the inquisitiveness, the adventurism of the child properly. Well, let's flip a little. My reference is Christian thought, so I tend to find examples in the Bible. It's sweet now in retrospect to think of David as the man who shot Goliath, who killed Goliath with a catapult and a stone. But I read a book that was written by a Christian psychologist who tried to psychoanalyze David, and he was trying to get us to imagine the young David who had very good aptitude with his stone and catapult. Imagine a friend of David offending him while they were playing, and David will say, "I will show you." And then he brings his sling and the stone and aims at the eye of his friend. Wow! The next thing, that one runs home. It's David, oh, my eyes. At another time, there is a bigger boy who was perhaps stronger to fight. And David said, "I cannot fight you, but I will deal with you." And you know, those were days of earthen water pots. He said, "I know what I will do for you." He goes to the house of that bigger boy and aims at the water pot. And you know, water was scarce in those days. He aims at the water pot or earthen pot of the mother of that bully, and he pow on the on the water pot, the water begins to leak. What happened? What happened? Say, it's David. Oh, so I guess it's in those kinds of adventures. Maybe another day there is a lizard or 2 or 3 lizards on the wall, and David say, I can get that lizard. Say, you can't. It's too high up. I'll get that lizard. And he says, 1, 2, go. He brings down the lizard. He declares for himself, hey, help me. I got the lizard. And then one day he sees maybe somebody's keg of palm wine. Let's assume they had palm trees. And then the god of palm wine is up there and says, I can get that thing. Say, you can't. Say, it's too high. Say, I can get it. Palm. He cracks the god of palm wine, and the palm wine leaks. The man came in the evening, empty god, leaking. What happened? Is David though. So every day the mom and the dad of David were having trouble because this guy was too much with his sling and stone. So I guess that's the kind of reason that will make them to say, just to the bush, as Yorubas will say, Igbo le, to the bush. So that's why you will now see a last born being the one in the bush taking care of sheep, while the older ones are at home at the dining table. Because if you could just construct that persona of a boy who was so good with his sling, his catapult and stone, that he was always running into trouble, that at the end they say, just go and be dealing with animals. They have been shooting your lizard and the rest of them in the bush. But fast forward to Goliath, when the whole army of Israel were afraid. This guy had become so sure of his sling and stone because of heavy use of that gift, intense use of that gift, that when they gave him a sword and an armor, he said, I do not know this armor. What I know is this, my sling and stone. And what was a problem in the community became the tool for deliverance for the entire community. David went out with these instruments that he had grown so used to, and he brought deliverance to a whole nation. That thing that your child is doing that is embarrassing you today, can you imagine what it can become in 5, 10, 15 years if well channeled? This is the reason why parents should not be so exasperated about precocious children. What you see as delinquents, what you see as deviance in the life of your child may actually be the seed of greatness if well channeled. We'll be talking more as God gives us opportunity about channeling aptitudes, channeling tendencies in children. But today I just want to call your attention to the fact that that precocious child that is getting on your nerves may actually not be a delinquent child, may be a hero in the waiting. Watch out for that child. My name is Bayo Kolade. It's a pleasure to be with you. Watch out for other videos that will be coming out from this channel from time to time. Like, comment, share, and I'll be very happy to get your feedbacks on any of these topics that we are discussing. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much for joining. See you next time.